hope I do you proud today. Um, so basically, I'm just going to speak on my own experiences. So anything I've talked about is all my own experiences and everything like that, and how I've learned to detach from other people's limiting beliefs and even some of my own. Okay, because sometimes we tend to think that we need other people's support to release our own beliefs, and the fact of the matter is it's not true, because we actually hold that power ourselves. So something that I found is that when you might, there's a couple of different situations, and I actually have a few examples of this. But basically, sometimes when we're discussing things like manifestation or energy or any of those little keywords, people are like, "Oh, that's too woo-woo for me now. I don't know what you're on about. Where is she going with this?" They're a bit skeptical, and that's based off insecurities. And that's fine. If you have a loved one who doesn't believe in this right now, it's totally fine, because it's not their journey right now, but it's yours. And you're here for a reason. If you're on this call, it's for a reason. It's because if this is all new to you, it's because this is the start of your journey into it. So if someone is telling you in your ear, I wouldn't, why would you go and buy a certain thing? Why can't we say certain words when it comes to money? And you're learning all this, how to have a relationship with money, and people are giving you, I don't know, awkward and looks, it's insecurities that are being projected. So then that all comes down to, like, how can you deal with that and keep moving forward? And for me, it all came down to self-image. It all came down to knowing who I am and what I believe in, and being so confident and secure in myself and loving myself enough and what I believe in, that helps me to continue my journey of shedding my limiting beliefs. And energy is contagious. So that energy that I've picked up, people are receiving that. So it's not exactly what I say. I don't have to prove myself to anyone. It's not what I'm saying, it's how I'm acting. It's, I'm stepping into the highest version of myself. So I every time I would, maybe get confronted with a conversation that people are just don't understand what I'm doing, I have to ask myself, would the highest version of myself go into an argument and try convince this person? Or am I so, at peace with myself and my own beliefs that I don't need to prove it to anyone, because I've proved it to myself? Um, so I also, another point I wanted to highlight was emotions and energy. So we can get very emotional about this, and we tend to have arguments with our loved ones. We tend to have friends that we have arguments with because they just don't understand where we're going. And again, remember, those emotions are what you're going to manifest. The law of attraction is like attracts like. And if you're so focused and emotional about someone who's bringing you down, and all you can think about is like, oh, why doesn't that person believe in this? Why can't they support me in this? Why can't, that's all you're thinking about. So that those emotions are activating on a lower frequency. So we want to raise our frequency. So it's important to understand where our emotions and our energy are going into. And I thought that this, to relate it back, I have a couple of examples of situations that I've personally been in that I've had to learn the hard way. It's been, it's very much up and down. And I realize now I'm just human. I'm going to slip a couple of times, fall back into my limiting beliefs. It's totally fine. But one example, with a loved one who doesn't have the same beliefs as me, and I can't convince her to have the same beliefs as me, and that's my mum. And I know sometimes we hear, oh, we have to distance ourselves from these people. We can't be around these people. I love my mum to death. She's absolutely brilliant. She's the best mum ever. But she does have a lot of limiting beliefs because of trauma she's had. And I can't judge her for that trauma. I can't, I don't know exactly what she's experienced or how her mind has formed stories in her head. And a lot of them, they have really good reasoning and rationale behind them, but I don't have to believe them as well. I always say to my mom, and my dad went through something very difficult. And just to get super vulnerable with you guys, is that my entire family, my dad ran two companies, and our entire family worked in those two companies. And unknowns to us, our dad got very sick, and he eventually got diagnosed with dementia, but we didn't realize it at the time. And so the business basically had to close its doors. And that means the entire family was out of a job. There was no income for anyone coming in. 4 kids, my parents, a mortgage to pay off, everything. And just recently, whilst I've been, doing the work on myself and with Anita and on my money mindset, is that she said, I was having a conversation with her and I said, I can't wait for the day that I'm going to pay off all your debt, my debt, everyone's debt. I'm going to make sure the family is set up and I'm breaking generational curses. And she said, yeah, let's pray that you win the Euro Millions. That's what we have over here for the lotto in Ireland is, everyone always says, oh, let's pray that, you win the Euro Millions. And I kind of looked at her and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm open and receiving to winning the Euro Millions. But I was like, there's other ways I can pay that off, Mom. I can, my business can earn it. We could win the Euro Millions. Like there's all these other ways. And she was like, yeah. And now the old me definitely would have been like, why don't you believe in me? Why don't you think my business is going to work? And, start creating this narrative that she hasn't actually verbalized, but in your mind, because you just so want to get into this, that sometimes we create these stories. But because I've done the work on myself, I was confident in the fact to let her off to believe that Euro Millions is the only way. I had to detach from that conversation. I'd be like, okay, yeah, let's hope we win the Euro Millions because I'm open to that. But also, I know myself, I'm going to earn it through my business. I'm going to earn it through my 7 income streams that I'm developing for myself. And I don't need to verbalize that to her. So it's just choosing the conversations that you have and what energy you put into them. And then another experience that I've had is with my best friend. Well, she is one of my really good friends now, but in the last couple of months, I think we've been best friends for 18 years. I met her when I was 13. I'm 31 now. So yeah, 18 years. So 18 years of friendship. And I love this girl to death. And we grew up, we went to school together, and I remember in school saying, oh, when I'm rich and famous, you'll have to come work in my business. And when you're younger, you just kind of say these things. Little did I know it's actually manifesting my own business. But at the time, I didn't realize that. And she was like, oh, she always projected like, yeah, when you get rich and famous, can you just hire me and I'll just come work for you and everything will be fine. At the time, I was like, yeah, it's totally fine. Now that I have my own business, now that we're adults and we're living in the big bad world and I have my own business, she is the least supportive friend I have when it comes to it. I told her I was releasing a line of clothing that have positive affirmations on them and everything. And she took a look at my website and, I'm sharing this brand new venture with her. Like I'm about to release this, about to launch it. And she's going through it on her phone going, oh yeah, oh, that's a bit too positive for me. I wouldn't be buying anything like that. And I was like, yeah, no, that's totally fine. Don't want to get into an argument with my friend because I'm not a confrontational person. But at the same time, it really affected me and it really brought me down for a while. And, then I would start noticing things that like she doesn't share any of my posts. She never asks me about my business. She never, nothing. She avoids the topic altogether. And it even came to a stage where she was telling me about her own boyfriend. And he lost his job and he had to go on social payments and different things. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm more of a like, let's find a solution to the problem. I was like, oh, well, what's he interested in? Because she said he wants to make a complete shift. And I would like throw out all these ideas. He start his own business. Could you do this? And she was like, yeah, no, you're fine. You don't need to come up with anything. So again, I was shut down at like trying to progress forward. And these are all just like little red flags I'm getting in the most recent months. But I suppose one of the most recent things was I was on a friend's podcast and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be on a podcast. Like, that's so amazing. And she was like, yeah, do you believe I don't listen to podcasts? It wasn't like, oh, what are you talking about? And again, I could have gone, what is your problem? Why don't you believe in me? Why don't you support me? I could have put all my energy into that. And I just had to say, yeah, they're not for everyone. Because I can't convince her to be supportive. I can't convince her to believe in me and believe what I believe because she's on her own path, her own journey, whatever you want to call it. One day she might get there if she's open to receiving the information. And maybe if I bring it up in, subtly in conversation, she might ask questions and I'll be open to talking about it then. But it's not my job to do her work. And then another one I have is with my sister, is a completely different scenario. Then again, it's the type of person, again, I love my sister to death, and she's big into manifestation, and she just loves all this money mindset, and she, you know, she wants to break generational curses as well. And you know, we'd be having such a good vibe and conversation, and then the next day she'll ring me crying because something's happened in her life, or you know, she's stressed, or she's just, you know, just falling back on old beliefs. And I'll let her know that. I'd be like, hey, no, do you remember we discussed certain things yesterday? And you know, in that moment, then she's very closed off to everything. And sometimes it's not even about trying to convince people. It's not about necessarily distancing yourself or cutting them off. It's about just listening and just being that ear. Because if I said, oh, I was going to cut my sister off, I was like, oh, I'm telling her all this advice and she doesn't take it, and I get frustrated, I'm acting on a lower frequency. Sometimes you just have to accept that people are going through things. They have their own trauma, their own experiences, again, that they're dealing with. And we just have to be understanding. Sometimes it's just that self-awareness that I'm going to act from my higher self. My higher self is a patient person. I'll let her say what she has to say, but I'm also going to protect my energy, and I'm going to cut the conversation here. And then the last experience I have is actually about me and my own limiting beliefs. So my dad was, well, he's still here, thank God, even though he's not well, but he's an amazing man. And I only realize now how closed off I was to manifesting before this. I don't believe how I grew up for the last 30 odd years or whatever, not knowing enough about manifesting, because my dad was the king of it and I never knew about it. And he never preached it as manifesting. That's the thing. He never said that. But his company slogan was infinite possibilities. Infinite possibilities. So he believed in, you know, when he stepped into the highest version of himself, he believed anything was achievable. Not only that, is that when he bought his first company, he bought it for €1. He met this man. This is a company that would have been worth millions if we didn't have to close the door and everything like that. So he bought this company for €1 because this man was in debt. He had to get rid of the company somehow. He had to transfer over the name of the company for someone else to take on the company's debt. And my dad said, look, I'll take on the debt if you accept this €1 as the price. Your man was so happy to be rid of it. He said, yeah, take it, do what you want. My dad, within a year, had paid off that debt of the company. And within, I think it was 5 or 6 years later, he opened a second company then. So he was literally the king of manifestation. Like, you can only do that unless you're operating from a higher frequency. You're open to, you know, like possibilities and opportunities. And it's when we're open to receiving, and it's only in the recent years I'm open to receiving this information, I can now see the kind of life that we grew up in and appreciate the lessons that he taught. So basically, after all those examples, I hope they helped, or someone can relate to them. I have a couple of tips that you can use to distance yourself, or, you know, different things, just to be aware of. So throughout those situations, a couple of things that I took away is that self-awareness and the power of awareness. So self-awareness, you have to just acknowledge the fact that your beliefs may not line up with someone's, and that's going to be okay. But also be careful in how you speak and what words you say. So a lot of the times, if our partner, someone doesn't believe in what we're doing, we'll say, oh, I can't do this if you don't support me. The I can't is more powerful than you believe. The I am, or I am capable, or I am doing. Change the phrase. Look at it from a different perspective. You don't necessarily need their support. You just don't need to they don't need to be attached to the same goals that maybe you're so attached to. Then another one I would also, with the self-awareness, it's also more of it's like taking back your power, not allowing other people to tell you what you are. So that comes down to self-worth as well. So just know that you're saying, I am abundant. They don't have to believe that. You can believe that in whatever shape you want. And that's you taking back your power, because no matter what comments or anything that people will say to you, you don't have to believe. You own that power in what you believe about yourself and your self-worth. Then the second thing I would say is, and this is something I learned from Anita, and I didn't actually realize how powerful this was in the 31 days of abundance. I thought when I did it the first time, I was like, this is a bit crazy, but okay, let's do it. And that's forgive yourself. Like, release it. Anything that you're blaming yourself for, anything, maybe conversations you had, or maybe you've been working so hard on your beliefs and shedding limiting beliefs, and then one day you fall back on your old beliefs and the old ways that you used to operate on. That's totally fine. Sometimes we forget we're human and we're bound to stumble and hit hurdles and have something blocked. Totally fine. Just forgive yourself. And Anita in 31 Days of Abundance has a really, really, really good exercise that she makes us do. I love that one. And then always, this is something that helps me all the time, and I've said it a couple of times. Ask yourself a question. If you're in a bit of a heated conversation with someone, or again, they're not understanding what you're doing, I always ask myself, how would the millionaire version of me act? Would the millionaire version of myself, the highest version of myself, worry about someone else's beliefs? Or would I be so confident in myself, I would continue my path forward? So that's just another little tip. And then the last one I would say then as well is protect your energy. So this is just something I do. Because I don't know what you would call it, but basically whenever I have conversations or anything that I have to put like verbal energy, social energy into, I am so drained after it. I nearly have to come home and take a nap from, talking with the girls, depending on who I'm talking with. So after a call like this, I'm normally buzzing and I'm so energetic. I'm ready to take on the world and I'm going to smash all my goals. But then the next morning I'll wake up and I'm absolutely exhausted. That person who I was a couple of hours ago is all of a sudden gone. That's okay. That's actually normal, because we actually pump energy into our goals and everything. So just be aware of your emotion, your energy. Just, again, that comes back to forgive yourself. Tune back into Anita if you need to, whatever podcast you need to listen to. Music creates energy. Whatever you need to just raise your vibration, raise that energy again. Just know that it's completely normal to wake up the next morning and then not do exactly what you set out to do. If you can get one task off your to-do list done, celebrate yourself, because you got one task, you're one step closer to the next person. And then remember, energy is contagious. So if there is someone that you love and you're making these massive shifts, that's going to like beam outside of you. My dad has dementia and he doesn't really notice much changes in us. I have to walk in and I'm like, hey dad, it's Laura. So when I sit down and my dad turns around and he goes, oh my God, there's something so different about you. And then he starts saying, it's like you're glowing. My energy is literally radiating out of me because I'm operating on a higher frequency. And my dad with dementia noticed that. My whole family has noticed the shifts that I've made. So I would say just remember, your energy is contagious. So just make sure that you do make sure you do recharge whatever way you need to. And if you're trying to convince, if that is something that you want to do and help someone you love along the way, your energy and your actions are going to show them, I believe, more than your words could ever do. So I hope that helped everybody today. I don't know if it did, so I hope someone can resonate with it. And yeah, thanks for having me.
So good. Oh, these are so fun. Thank you, Laura. Laura actually has a link too, so you guys can actually book empowerment calls with her. Laura, if you want to drop that link, we'll actually put it in the recap of the email too. But there's a couple of things I want to recap on what you just said. It's just like so beautiful. One, all of your stories, and I want to thank you for being vulnerable and telling everybody, because a lot of times it's hard for us to relate with people because we don't know the back end. And so you, again, being vulnerable is what helps people relate more. I also I loved what you said about just accepting that other people are on different paths right now and that you're on your own path. And I think for me personally, when you said that, that was a huge download, because that was the hardest part of the process for me, obviously, because we want to help everybody. We want everybody to be at that next level. But I think the faster that you can accept it and know that one, you're setting the example and you are being that inspiration to somebody else was so beautiful. And I also loved all of these tips. So I had Marielle's on here. She's my assistant and she's actually taking notes for you guys. So those tips will be in the recap emails if you guys want to refer back to them if you weren't taking notes. But thank you, Laura. So good. If you guys could all just in the comments right now say thank you, Laura. Thank you, Laura. Just give her some energy. Thank you for, again, sharing your story. Alrighty, so the next person I want to bring on is beautiful soul, Rosie. I'm so excited. So Rosie is also in the Millionaire Academy right now, and she's actually in the mastermind right now. But I'm so excited about Rosie because Rosie has so much such a beautiful story about this shift for her, especially when it comes to releasing her detachment from her loved one. And so I loved how she was really able to say, you know what, like, I know that you're scared. I know that this doesn't make sense right now, but I'm going to follow the path of least resistance for me. And I'm so happy that you did that, Rosie, because again, you're just setting the examples for so many people. So I'm going to give the floor over to you, and
Hey guys, thank you, Anita, for having me. So I want to first start off that I'm a makeup artist, and the way I found Anita is like I manifested Anita. I was looking for like YouTube videos on meditations for makeup artists, and the reason why I was doing that was because I wasn't booking. And once I found Anita, I did anything that she had going on, any workshops. I was like, I need to be in her energy just because I felt so fulfilled after just being part of her workshops. And then I did the 3-day workshop, and then I did the 31 days of abundance. And let me tell you, the shift from starting the 31 days of abundance was massive. Actually, I haven't told you this, Anita, but my doggy, my doggy passed away, but literally, like, I felt like I needed self-care. I needed to get back and ground myself after losing him, because I had my dog for 16 years, and it's like I felt like, what am I going to do now? And in my head was like self-care, self-care, self-care. And it wasn't that I was resisting joining the 31 days of abundance. It was just like the circumstances that I was in at the time, it wasn't allowing me to do it. And then you had like a promotion, and I said, no, I am going to do this because it's the time now to do it. And I actually borrowed money from my brother, and I paid the other half. And I was like, I'm gonna pay you. And I told my brother, I'm gonna pay you back this amount of time. And I did. Like maybe it took maybe like 3 more days, but I set that in my head, like I'm going to pay you back and I'm going to join. And ever since I did the program, I've been booking. I've gotten so many new opportunities with my makeup business, and it's just expanding. And I really feel like it's more with the program, you really value yourself. It's more of your self-worth. And I realized that I wasn't booking at the time because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that I was worthy enough to get those clients. I didn't feel worthy enough to charge those prices, because I would always, if I would get like a request, I would be like, all right, let me see how much they'll pay, and it was always like that feeling of like, oh my God, are they going to accept that amount? And I didn't book them because I wasn't sure of myself. And then I made the decision. I was like, no, this is what I'm going to charge, and this is what it is. And let me tell you, ever since I've had that, I took that initiative, not initiative, but I took that, I started doing that. I've been booking, and no one hesitates to pay that amount. And I just see that whole difference in myself. Then Anita mentioned the makeup mentor mastermind, and that was more like, oh my God. And I read through it in my head. I'm like, no, I need to make the shift. I need to do this for myself. And my loved one is my husband, who was the one that was giving me a hard time to like do it, because at the time, we didn't have the finances to actually do it. But I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. I was going back and forth with Anita, and it's like, no, I need to do it for myself. because in the long run, this is going to help us as partners, us in my business, and I'll be able to do things on my own. And I'm not sure how many of you guys are married or have boyfriends or live together, but like with my husband, like we do our finances together. So it's like if I buy something, he's gonna know. So, and it's not that I didn't tell him, but it's like we had a conversation. He's like, you know what, babe, you do what you think is best. If you believe this is going to help you, then just do it. And I did. And I was like, you know what, it is. It's going to help. And ever since I made that decision to join the program, I'm going to launch my cosmetic line soon. And that's with the push and like, that's it, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to name it after my doggy. I don't know if you dog lovers out there, but it's going to be after my doggy. And I'm releasing my 9 to 5:30 job because that's it. No more. I live in New York. I have to travel like almost 2 hours to get into New York. And it's not worth it anymore. Like it's just, I'm getting more frustrated coming into the city to work for someone else when I should be working for myself completely. And that's with the program, that's what I just said, you know what, that's it. This is the time. And I'm just really grateful that I made that decision. And also even my husband noticed, he's like, I always see you with your little notebook. You're always writing things down. And then he sees how I've changed the way that I speak. So if he says, like he'll open up the refrigerator and he's like, this fridge, like it looks like we're broke. And I'm like, don't say that. Like, why would you say that? And it's like, babe, it's only you and I. Of course, it's going to look like there's nothing there because it's only you and I. We don't even eat. So any little thing that he says, I always like stop him. Like, don't say that. We don't speak like that here. So I always try to like rephrase that and yeah, like, and I feel like that whole change ever since I'm in the energy. And once you're like vibing with so many people that are at your same frequency, let me tell you, the shifts are like amazing. So that's why, like, with the people around you, it's really more like you have to value yourself. You have to value your self-worth and know that whatever decisions you're going to make is going to help you in the long run. So that's how I feel like Anita came into my life, the program. And from July that I was part of the 31 Days of Abundance to now, I see so many different changes happening. Now, like I said before, like now I'm actually working at a studio doing makeup. I am going to work at this other makeup company during the days that I have off. So it's like I see myself like doing the things that I want to do. And now I feel like I'm operating as like the CEO that I want to be. And that's what Anita says. You have to feel, you have to act like that business owner. If you want things to happen, you have to act like it's already there. And you're going to see how things are just going to manifest. And basically, we don't know what the future holds, but right now we're living in the present and we're going to see our future unfold, and everything that we are hoping for and want to manifest is going to happen. So that's how I feel.
So good. Gosh, Rosie, there's so many things that you just covered that just give me chills. So can we just give it up for her for releasing the job that's no longer serving her? This just makes me so excited. But remember, I was talking to you guys right before this and I said it's those testimonies that make me like emotional, give me chills, because like things like that, that's where the shift really, really happens. And the last thing I wanted to ask you before I recap everything you said, Rosie, I know that you doing this work, how you gave some examples with your husband, but like, can you tell some of the testimonies that happened to him since you started doing this work?
Yeah. So the first time I did Anita's 3-day workshop, he got a 5K bonus. And I was like, whoa. And then this time around, he just got a 5K bonus on Thursday or Wednesday. And I'm like, wait, what the heck is going on? So I'm like, oh my God, Anita, every time I do your workshops, because regardless of wherever I am in any of your programs, I'm always like, to me, I always want to be in that energy, and whatever you put out there, I'm like, I'm there. Like, I need to be there because I need to feel whatever, because even though like the workshops cover certain things, but every time that you do a workshop, you always get a different feeling, and something else always like shows up. And I even got like $2 in the mail. I was like, what? $2? But it was amazing. But yeah, he got a raise. So, and it was the raise in a matter of 3 months. So I was like, whoa, that's awesome.
I love that. I love the two. I literally got so excited when you said the $2 check in the mail, because yeah, it's like, one, the way that you celebrate $2 is the same way you're going to celebrate 200,000, and it just makes me so excited. So again, like it was the same thing with Rosie. Like Rosie was on every single free webinar. She was on every single live. She was on like pretty much just, again, like listening to the podcast. You guys know how at the end of the podcast, I ask you to share them and tell me one thing that you got out of this. Like Rosie wins all the giveaways because she's always on it, right? Like she's doing the work. And so when she made this shift into the program that we're in now, I was so persistent with her because I knew it. And oh, it's 11:11 right now, Rosie. It was bigger than her. And so when she told me that the reason why she was already in pretty much in the program, and then she had some last minute thoughts saying maybe now's not the right time, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, Rosie, like, I'm not even speaking from me right now. I'm speaking from source. Like I know that it doesn't make sense right now. And I know that's what he's saying, but I'm telling you, it's going to affect you and it's going to affect him. And it's going to be this huge shift. And it has. And I think it's just so beautiful how you were able to feel that fear, do it anyway, set the example for other people. And now just being able here to literally sit here and speak from experience is like, is what really helps other people, right? Because I can sit here all day long and say, like, oh, your spouse will understand, and but it's like, I don't have a spouse, you can say these things because you have experience. And even though I say it all day long, people are going to resonate with you because of your experience. And this just makes me so excited. Woo! Thank you, Rosie. Everybody in the comments, if you could just say thank you, Rosie, in the comments, like if you want to add one thing that really stuck out to you guys. We're gonna be opening up the conversation about this towards the end. I just want to bring on one more beautiful soul. But again, this is where the shift really happens, is when you can detach from those other beliefs that everybody else is, projecting on you. And it's only because they want to keep you safe, guys. It's not because they're like, they don't believe in you. It's not because they think that you're going to fail. It's because when you go out there and you do something that not everybody does, right? Not everybody starts their own, maybe in your circle is starting their own product line. And maybe not everybody's out there, investing in themselves. So when we do those things, it really scares them because they think if I can't do it, then they can't do it either, right? And that's what I mean by they're projecting the fear. And so again, you guys are breaking the cycles, and it's just so beautiful. So if she's still open, I would like to bring on Joanna. She's like, but Joanna, you're such a beautiful soul. And guys, okay, remember how we were talking about like vibing, like Laura was talking about vibing? Joanna's vibing today. Like she hopped on the call early, and I was like, what is going on? So I just felt really called to bring you on today, and just whatever's on your heart.
Thank you, Anita. I really appreciate it. I think I got this, like, while I was listening to these beautiful souls speaking from their experience, I think one of the main things I would like to touch on right now is when we are working on this journey of manifesting money, and it may be manifesting other things in your life, because the process is the same. Either you're trying to manifest money, love, a new house, or whatever it is, or that one job that you want. I know not all of us here have businesses, but the process is the same. And I think one of the main things to keep in mind is that when you have fear, this is what I've been working on with myself. Like Laura said, I am going to share based on my own experience, because that's where I can share and tell you how I feel. But I think it comes to like questioning a lot of things. For instance, if you're having fear maybe to get a job that you have never done before, like, and ask yourself, where is this fear coming from? Who said something, or what happened in my life that it's giving me this fear, you know? And you're gonna come to realize that maybe you have never had an experience that proves to you that your fear can come into reality. Maybe it's somebody else's fear that they projected on you at some point in your life, and it's just, you just picked it up as a belief. And I read an example in a book of this beautiful lady. She talks a lot about manifestation in Spanish, but it really connected with Anita's story when it comes to limiting beliefs in when she picked up when she was a child, and it also for me. But this example that I'm going to give, it's like more like everyday life. But I think if we're able to understand how to connect like everyday life, little things that happen, we can like bring that into the aspect of manifesting money or love or a house or whatever it is. But this lady was telling about how when she was young, she was like to the point she can remember, like 5-6 years old, she was always scared to go into the pool with her cousins every time they went on vacation. Yes, I can tell you the name of the book. Is in Spanish. I don't know if the lady has it in English, but I will. It's called La Historia que te cuentas, and I'll leave the name in a little bit. And this lady was saying that when she was small, she was always scared. She was terrified of water, and she was just terrified to go into the ocean. She was terrified to go into the swimming pool, and she would just sit there with her mom and watch all the other kids enjoy life and have fun, and she was just terrified of water. But after a couple of years, when she got a little bit older, around 9 or 10, she decided to ask her mom. She was like, why don't you put me in swimming lessons? I want to learn how to swim. And the mom was like, oh no, I don't want you to drown, you know, I don't want you to like drown and die. You know, that's the first thing that the mom answered, instead of saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna put you in swimming lessons so that you can learn how to swim and go have fun with like your cousins and other kids. So the mom eventually decided to put this lady in swimming lessons. But the reason why she decided to put her into swimming lessons is because she did not want this lady to someday fall in water and drown and die. And so she did it because she did not want her kid to die. She wanted her kid to learn how to swim so that she would not die if at some point in her life she fell into water. And so that just showed her that the fear that she had of water, it was her mom's fear. It was not her fear. It was not. And so she started taking swimming lessons. She became one of like the top swimmers in her class. She went on competitions. And so that, I think, is something that we all pick up like when we are small, like limiting beliefs, either when it comes to ourselves, money, or anything else. And like Anita said, like everyone else is saying, it's not, they didn't do it because they wanted to harm us. They did it from the point where they are at. And so I think that was one of the biggest realizations that I've had since I started working with Anita, is that most of the fears that I had, it's because I picked it up from somebody that I respected, like my parents, a teacher, an uncle, or older siblings. And then when it came to the point where I realized that it's not something that I have proof of, or it's not mine, I learned how to let go of it without blaming anybody, you know, because everybody is living their own traumas, living their own life the best way that they can. And so it came to that point when I started releasing the fear, and I could see my everyday life changing. And it helps me when it comes to teaching my own kids. So this is just amazing. The fact that you guys are on here learning about this, you are literally doing something amazing for future generations without you knowing it. You're not, what you are doing, even though you're doing it for yourself, and you are going to project that to people that are watching you, family members, nephews, nieces, kids, your own kids. So yeah, I think that's one of the main things that I wanted to mention, that it's like, it's not just about money, but it's about like every little thing in life. You can, when you become aware of different fears that you have, or that different limiting beliefs that you have in like everything, you know, in everything. Maybe you want to cook something, but you're like, oh, I've never done it, maybe it's not going to be good, and then you stop yourself. Don't stop yourself, try it, and little by little you're going to start developing those beliefs in yourself with little things like that. So I think that was like the main thing that helped me the most. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, Anita.
Can we talk about something? This is so funny, guys, because I did not tell her until like 5 seconds before we even got on the call that I was going to bring it on. And I just think it's so funny because like, Joanna, you're just such, again, this high vibrational state. And so I had the opportunity to work with Joanna one-on-one, and it was just such a beautiful process, because it was just every single week we were just what's going on, what's the fear, what's the thing, how can we move forward. One of the things that I wanted to ask if you could bring up was the hypnosis session that you did. If you feel open to sharing, what was the story, or where did the limiting belief about money stem from, and how did you become conscious and reprogramming?
Yeah, definitely. So yes, on the one-on-one coaching, I had the opportunity. Thank you, Anita. Like, if you guys ever have the opportunity to work one-on-one with Anita, and let me tell you, to work one-on-one with her was not easy for me. That was a huge step that I had to take. And I did not listen to my mind. I listened to my heart. So that's one thing you guys really need to pay attention, is your intuition. What is your body telling you? Your mind can be telling you something, but your heart, what is your heart telling you? And so when I went into this hypnosis session, I was extremely nervous because of, same thing, things we see on TV that talks about hypnosis. It's just made up this whole like story in my mind. But when I went to this hypnosis session, the therapist, she was amazing. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to have another session with her. But we mainly focus on limiting beliefs and just kind of addressing those. And I did have multiple situations in my childhood that had to do with money. And to where one of the situations that happened is like, and like I said, I'm not blaming anybody, I'm not pointing fingers or anything. I'm here working on myself, and I'm doing this for me and for my future and for my kids. So when the first situation that happened that I can remember, I was about 4 or 5 years old, I think. This is the first one that came up during the hypnosis session. I was about 4 or 5 years old, and I was playing with my older sister, which was only 2 years older than me. And we ended up going into one of my uncle's room, and she knew where he had money. So she took money, and I was just there watching. She took money from my uncle's, I don't know what he had there, like a bag or something. And so a couple hours later, I think that same day, everybody found out that we were the ones in the room. So obviously they knew one of us took the money. And so they confronted us and we got in trouble. But the thing is, like, for me, I didn't do it. I was just there witnessing what happened. But the fact that I got in trouble, that planted a belief that money is something that brings me problems. Money is something that causes you to get in trouble. Money is something that's not good. Money makes you look bad in front of the people that you respect, because I got in trouble with my parents and with my uncle. And it was just this situation that in the hypnosis session, I was crying my eyes out, and I was like saying, I didn't do it, but I felt like nobody listened to me. And we both got in trouble with my sister. And so that was like a really traumatic experience for
Oh, I think it got muted.
Oh, okay. So that was a really traumatic, one of the really traumatic experiences that I had. And being that young, I couldn't understand why they would not believe me, why I got in trouble. And so my mind couldn't comprehend that. So the only thing that my mind could comprehend was that money is bad. Money gets you in trouble. A lot of money gets you in trouble. That was like the belief that my mind picked up. And so during the hypnosis session, we went in through other experiences. And then from there, we brought up those beliefs and we switched them. And the therapist made an affirmation audio for me to listen to every night. I listened to it every single day for 21 days straight. And it switched up my vibration. I learned that now, those things were beliefs that I picked up when I was young. I'm an adult now. I'm responsible. I'm a nice person. And I believe that I deserve good things to happen to me, and that money is not bad. Money can bring good to me. And so those are the little things that you're going to start realizing. If you ever have the opportunity, like I said, to work with Anita or to even have a hypnosis session, do it, because it's going to change when it comes to your perspective and your beliefs, because it did for me. And the way things started shifting for me, it completely did. I when I started working with Anita, I was working on a business. I already had my own business. I was working on something. And after I worked with her, I came to the realization that I actually wanted to do something else. And I did not have the fear to do it. I went and I did it, and I started, this whole new identity for myself, and it's just bringing up these beliefs, limiting beliefs, and changing them. It's going to help you a lot. But yeah, if you ever have the opportunity to do a hypnosis session, it's really helpful. I would definitely recommend it.
So good. Thank you, Joanna. Oh gosh, you're just such a beautiful soul. Thank you for sharing that and sharing your story. Again, thanks every single one of you for being super vulnerable and telling everybody about this, because again, like, the practical world, people would say, you don't know these people, but the real thing is that we're all connected, and every single person that's watching this right now, whether you're here, whether you're on live, whether you're watching the replay, like every single person is watching this for a reason. And so one of the beautiful things that I wanted to say that you just talked about is how when we worked together, it was a process of releasing. It wasn't really like, let's do, X, Y, and Z. It was more of like, okay, well, would you still be doing that if money wasn't an issue? And every single day, just looking at these little tiny things. And so that's what led her to doing what she's doing now. And I think it's very beautiful because I know that we had some people in the comments like saying that they also speak Spanish, but if you guys have any family members who that would really benefit from this information, who would benefit from just the things that we talked about in the 3-day manifesting money workshop, we actually have it as in Spanish because of Joanna. Because Joanna stepped up into this highest version of herself, right? Like 3 months before we even started our program, you would have I don't know, it was just, you were on a totally different path. And I think it was beautiful to see how fast that things can shift, and finding that path of least resistance is what I like to call it, the thing that you can do all day long without it feeling like work. And because of her, because she stepped into the highest version, right? That's what led us to have it. So if you guys are interested in the 3-day workshop for somebody who prefers Spanish or understands it a little bit more in Spanish, we have that available. Working on the 31 days of abundance too, which is our new manifestation. But again, I just wanted to use that as an example that that what happens when you release and you really just follow what it is that you want. And I think that was such a beautiful realization. So I'm about to open up the floor. I just want you guys to really just talk about this specific topic, and to really understand that your beliefs, or that other people project their fears on you. I wanted to share one personal experience that I just had a download about the other day. I was going to put it on the Facebook group, but I was like, I'll save it for the call today. So I realized, this is what I realized a couple of days ago. I was like, I don't know why I'm so scared to say something about this specific search situation. And I was like, I don't know why I'm scared to say something. I don't know why I'm scared to speak up for myself. Right. And it reminded me of a time when I was, I wanted to go to the park. And just so you guys, I don't know if you guys tune into my Instagram, but I'm always at the park. I love going to the park so much. And I realized that when I was younger, it wasn't between the ages 0 to 7, but I do remember this specific event, is that I wanted to go to the park. And I told my dad, you know, hey, I'm going to go to the park. I didn't ask him. I just told him, right? And if you guys are Hispanic, you know, that's the no-no. But I told my dad, hey, I'm going to go to the park. And my dad says, no, you can't go today. And I was so upset. And I slammed the door. The second that door slammed, again, if you guys are Hispanic, you know, you're like, oh God, in trouble. Anyway, the door slammed. The second that it slammed, I just closed my eyes because I knew I was going to be in trouble. So my dad got up and he got in my face. I literally wrote this. It's going to be in the book that I'm writing right now. And he would never hit me. He would never hurt me or anything. But the way that he was staring at me, the way that he was yelling at me, I just couldn't stop crying. And he went to the kitchen, and again, he goes to the kitchen, and I'm in the other room, just still like crying. And I just hear like all this stuff, like getting moved around, like all this different stuff like happening. And then he comes out of the kitchen and he says, clean it up. And I was just, I didn't know what was going on. I walked into the kitchen, both of the trash that we had we had a family of 5 kids, 2 trash cans dumped out on the floor, all the dishes that were in the sink that weren't done, right? You know, a lot of times when you want to go somewhere, you have to clean and all this stuff, all the dishes that weren't done, smashed on the counter, all the food that was left out from earlier that nobody put away, was all over the counter, all the stuff that was in the cabinets pulled out. And I just remember thinking how I wanted to say something. I even just wanted to say sorry. I wanted, just something. And I just couldn't say anything. And so it really took me a long time to realize that this was my dad's anger and just built up like emotion from not being able to say something to his dad, right? When these situations happen. When I grew up, we didn't say no to our parents. When I grew up, we didn't talk back. When I grew up. And so it really, really made me develop the belief that I can't say anything back, or that I can't stick up for myself, or that I don't maybe deserve to go to the park. I need to ask for permission, like all these different things. And it really clicked for me when I was at the park the other day. I was like, oh, that is why I feel most in alignment here. I'm not like a big beach person and all these little different things. And so again, I just wanted to share that with you guys, because these are where all of these beliefs and everything start to stem from. And so a lot of times when people do money mindset work, they think that it's all about the money. They think it's about the material things and manifesting the house. Nope. It's about getting super clear on where did these stories start from? What cycles are you breaking right now? Again, you guys doing this work is breaking generational curses. You are helping so many other people by doing this work. So again, I wanted to share that story so that we can kind of open up the topic around that specific topic. So with that being said, I would love for you to open up the floor. And I just want to know, what's the number one thing that your family is currently telling you right now? Either maybe it's a loved one, maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a parent. What is the number one thing that they're saying right now that's limiting you? And again, whoever unmutes first, I'll let you take the floor.
So
Jessica.
hi. So basically, once I heard that you said that you slammed the door, my heart literally compressed and I was like, oh my God, because I'm Hispanic. So that's like one of the worst things. Still 37, I would never dare slam the door in my mother's house ever. But with my mom, she has this fear that if I don't save money, I'm not going to have anything for the future for my daughter. she's always telling me, save your money, save your money, save your money, because you don't know, tomorrow you might not have anything. And I'm just like, okay. And it's, you know, it's keeping me from like even want to tell her the things that I'm like slowly manifesting, because I don't want her beliefs to put me back in a bubble and like in fear of wanting to do better, because she's gonna tell me, oh, save your money, you might lose it tomorrow. And it's just like, I'm working so hard at removing that block of fear of not having enough, and that fear of me losing money, that it's, you know, I keep my, like, it's like I'm falling backwards. Like I manifested the 15K, and so much, you know, I traveled this summer, I did so much, and hearing it constantly, I'm like, oh my God, I'm looking at my bank account more than ever now, because I'm like, oh my God, my money's decreasing now. My money's decreasing. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I started again, the 31 days of abundance again. And I'm just like, I'm writing everything down. I'm literally blocking everything and anyone that is like, can deter me from getting back where I was at.
So beautiful. Yes. Thank you for sharing, Jessica. I get so excited with your story because one, you are just an example of what's possible. And again, Jessica's the same, like every single live, every single free workshop, like she's been there and she actually does the work. You know, I was talking about this the other day. A lot of times people join the program and then they get to a certain amount and maybe they just stop, right? So again, it's about doing it on a consistent basis. And a lot of times we think that when we bring this limiting belief to the surface, oh, okay, you know, I realize that's the belief and now I can just believe otherwise, right? But it's about doing it on a consistent basis, because what people don't realize, especially when you're quantum leaping, you're going from here to here to here to here to here, those beliefs come back harder than ever. And I think that again, we get so upset with ourselves and thinking, oh, I already did this work and I already knew that I did that and I know about all this stuff. But one, there's so many things that are deeper and there's still so much work and there's still so much of subconscious beliefs that we need to bring to the surface. So I love that you were able to share that, Jessica. Thank you. I don't know if Raina's still on here, or Rainer, hold on.
Hi.
Oh, there she is. Okay, so she joined the program 31 Days of Abundance yesterday. And I just kind of wanted to ask you, what was the number one reason why you joined?
Because I've been working towards, since watching The Secret, obviously, that was the first thing that I watched ages ago. And I started just kind of manifesting and loads of things have happened. And then I come across your, I can't remember whether it was TikTok or Instagram. And then, and then I just went onto your Zoom, just literally started, I've got a journal that I literally write everything in. And then just started yours. So I was like, oh, this is something new that I can focus on and really, you know, work towards. My business is doing well. I'm a teacher. I'm a makeup artist. I'm a type 1 diabetic. So I help a lot of diabetics as well. So I've got all different things. I do diet and nutrition. So I've got multiple things going on, but also I needed that focus to understand finances, just to try and get everything controlled. And then I manifested the money that I wrote down from your first Zoom. And I just realized that there was a lot of things that was blocking me. Like I've got so many incomes and different things, but I wasn't really focusing on my finances the way that I should have been. You know, tracking my taxes, I was really panicky about that all the time. I was thinking, if I earn more, how am I going to be able, how much tax will that be? And I was just, things just seemed a lot bigger than what it actually is when you kind of break it down in your podcasts and things like that. But yeah, I'm just loving it. And it's just something to focus on. I'm reading the books that you've recommended. So yeah, I just love it.
Oh, it's so good. This make you
Yeah, I'm in my pajamas as well, by the way, everyone, because it's like, I don't, what time is it? It's like 8 o'clock at night here. So
oh my gosh, wait, where are you located again? You're
I'm in
UK.
Cheshire in the UK, so near Manchester and Liverpool.
Oh, is
I
anybody
don't know
else
whether-
here?
I might talk too fast for everyone. I don't know whether anyone can understand me. I'll try and talk slow.
Oh my gosh, no, I feel like I listen better because of the accent. No, I love this. Okay, Katz is from the UK too. Anybody else from the UK, go ahead and put in the comments and make sure you guys connect offline after this. But you know, one of the things that you said that just made me super excited is about having something to focus on. And you also said that, you know, the fear of like, oh my gosh, if I make more money, I'm gonna have to pay more taxes and all this different stuff. You know, a lot of times when we when we start to manifest the money, we get the material things, right? We think that the fear and the stress and anxiety is going to go away, right? But really, it just shifts again. And so I think that you doing this work again is helping so many people around you, and it's also helping just a whole different part of the world. And I think again, you're setting that example, and I'm so happy and grateful that you are shifting and you're doing the work. Like that's what I can't say enough. Doing the work on a consistent basis. If you miss a day, you miss a day. And I think I just want to thank you again for investing time and energy.
Thank you.
Yay. Awesome. So I'm going to, again, open up the floor. But last thing I want to talk about before we hop off here, I know a lot of people, it's Monday, but last thing I want to talk about is just a couple different programs that we have available right now. So the 31 Days of Abundance is what's been coming up to the surface a lot for me to talk about. So we have the 31 Days of Abundance, which is what Rainer just joined. A lot of people started with the 31 Days of Abundance. And this program I specifically created because one, people would manifest the money, they'd get the extra $100, they'd get the extra $1,000. I've even had people manifest over $20,000 in 3 days, right? Again, it's just a matter of the frequency. And they would still have this fear, stress, and anxiety around money. And I cannot stress it enough, guys. It has nothing to do with the money and has everything to do with you. So when people invest into the programs, whether it's the 31 Days of Abundance, Working One-on-One, the Mastermind, all these different ones, again, it has nothing to do with me. Even though the material and everything is awesome, you know, and I get these comments all the time, especially on TikTok. Well, if you really want to help people, then why are you charging so much? Why are you charging? Because again, it has nothing to do with me and it has everything to do with you. And so, you know, Rosie, I want to go back to what you said and the story of how you borrowed money from your brother, right? When I first invested into myself, guys, I didn't have money to invest in myself. That's why I did it. I didn't have it. That's why I did it. Because if I wasn't going to get out of that comfort zone, if I wasn't going to break the cycle, it was always just going to be the same. And so I started using the reason why I wasn't doing something, the reason why I did do it. And every single time that I thought I was at my breaking point, that I was like, oh my gosh, like I thought I was broke before, but this is crazy. That's when I went 10 times bigger. And so that's another download that I want to share with you guys today, is that a lot of times when you are, when you're at that point, that breaking point, that burnout, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Again, it's just because you're thinking too small. So I want you guys to think 10 times bigger. I want you guys to get out of that box and just imagine what would it be like if X, Y, and Z were to happen. And so one special thing that I had to download this morning, again, this whole entire business is intuitive. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's what you want me to do today? Let's do it. So what my guides and my download was today is to make the 31 Days of Abundance a payment plan. So this is only going to be available specifically today. I made this for this call. So when you guys go to the checkout for the 31 Days of Abundance, the program is $333, but you can do 3 payments of $111. So I literally just set that up right before we got on this call. And this is for people who really just want to take intuitive action today. And so it's the same thing with Rosie when she knew that now was the time. I want you guys to just really operate from that frequency of excitement and joy and like, let's go, like just this vibration of like, I'm in a position where there's no turning back. And so again, this is an evergreen product, just so you guys like practical wise, it's about 5 to 10 minutes a day where I give you guys every single exercise that there is, that has truly helped me with money mindset. So the strategy, structure of your numbers, saving, giving, spending, circulating money. Where do these beliefs come from? I talk about hypnosis, meditation. It's a lot of the things that I teach in this program are the things that I didn't understand when I was on this journey. I never not believed in manifestation. I never not believed on any of this stuff. I just had absolutely no idea how it worked. And so what I like to do is just tell every single person coming into the program that come in with consistency, again, because people manifest the money, they get the thousands of dollars, and then they're like, oh, okay, I'm good, I don't have to do this anymore. And then they go back into those cycles, and then they go back into the same place where they started. Again, forget about the money when you come into this program. Dream big, right? Write that intention, put it out there, do the work, right? But forget about the money, because it's not about the money. It's about being abundant, and abundant is not having all the finances in the world. Abundance is knowing that money is an unlimited resource that you can tap into at any given point in time. So my goal with this program is to have over 100,000 people by this time at the end of 2022. So it starts here. If you guys have any questions about that, you can put it in the comments. The other option that we have available is the mastermind, which is a program that Rosie is in. So this program is the only program that you guys can really invest in right now. That's going to be access for the one-on-one coaching, also with the hypnosis that Joanna was talking about. I've really incorporated these programs together because a lot of times when I was working with people one-on-one, I realized that there's so much stuff there is to learn too. And so when we work one-on-one, again, it's always just about getting clear on what are these limiting beliefs? How can we move forward? What are the limiting beliefs? How can we move forward? And really just celebrating the process, right? A lot of times people, when I tell them it's going to happen so fast, you know, you're going to blink and everything's going to change. They think that it's like this huge, you know, this one thing is going to change it all. Nope. It's the things that you're going to be doing on a consistent basis. So whether it's the 31 days of abundance, the mastermind, whatever it is, I just want you guys to pick what feels good for you, feels what's in alignment for you, or maybe it's just you just showing up on this call today, guys. Like you being here is what's actually making the shift. So again, I want to open up for any last things about that you want to talk about when it comes to what your parents are allowing you, or not your parents, but your loved ones are physically blocking. I know Kiara, right? Is it Kiara?
Hi. Yeah.
Hi,
it's
Kat.
me.
Hi, love.
Hi. So there's just so many revelations that happened. Okay, really quickly, Joanna, first, like you helped me to blow up a belief about money as a child, because I'll be honest, my mom's one of them, Anita, that does get in the way, along with my dad sometimes. But my mom used to actually, when I was a kid, I would save my money in this cute little box. Like it was like a little black, like super fancy box. I thought I was like the bomb. It was like a jewelry box really. And it had like this red velvet in it. And it was so special to me. She would take my money. She took like stuff that I was like probably 6 or 7 when I realized what she was doing. And so the belief of if you have money, people will steal from you just blew up for me when Joanna was explaining her situation with the money stealing thing. And then it was also a belief of like, or, you know, you can't keep money because others will not want you to have it. And then the other one, Anita, was when, you know, you were talking about your dad, and I'm like, holy crap. My situation though is with food. Like my grandparents would be like, no, you don't need to eat all of that. And then my dad, who was somebody who never had, you know, a lot in his life, he would end up, now he overdoes it. And he's like, you know, diabetic now. And like, I have this borderline balance of, oh, I got to do really good, but then I'm really hard on myself if I don't do really good. So even though that's not money, it is still like with abundance of overdoing it. And yeah, like I've only done the 3-day program. but it's life changing. I don't care if I got to do that 3 days every 3 days, like until I can get to the, 31 days of abundance or the money mindset program. It's like the vibe is just so high. And I'm trying to build my own business as a Reiki practitioner. I also had an amazing intuitive idea drop in for me, because I also used to be an administrative assistant full-time over 18 years. And I've been in several different backgrounds in like the workforce. So I'm creating like a space for myself where I'm able to build my energy healing with administrative work. So there goes something else that I'm building on too. So I don't know how that's going to turn out, but it's in the process. But wow, I am just, thank you. Seriously.
Thank you for showing up, doing the work. You're so high vibes. And I can't remember if I sent this in our voice memo. You guys should see my DMs. They're so funny. Joanna probably goes crazy. She's like, oh my God.
Sorry about that.
No, don't. That's what I'm saying.
No
That's
sorries.
one word.
No sorries.
That's one word words that we don't say. I know this is crazy. I'm sorry. And then should is another word that we don't use in our circle. But it was just so beautiful because one, like I just had this huge download to just keep telling everybody this time, especially if you guys seen my post yesterday about something I shared about now's the time to take action. Guys, it's quantum leaping season, right now. God, universe, sources, like telling everybody, please help us out, like help us. Allow you to make money in your sleep, allow you to get booked while you're not physically working, allow us, now's the time to set everything up. And the reason why I get so excited when people have businesses and they're learning about money mindset, again, because that was me, is that I knew that I was going to have a successful business. I knew all these things were going to happen, but I would always suffocate the money coming to me through my business, right? And if my business didn't make money, then I wasn't successful. If my launch didn't go good, then I wasn't successful. If my product didn't go good, then I wasn't successful. And so once I finally started to realize is that it's not about the physical product or whatever it is that I'm promoting or what I'm doing at the time. It's always about the things that I'd be working on and things that I'm excited about. And I realized that when I was like, for example, if you're out there working on like Reiki, if you're working on this new idea that just excited you, right? Then you're following the path of least resistance. And most people get stuck because they're like, well, I can't work on that right now because I have to work on this. And if I work on that, then I'm a failure because everybody else says you have to work on just one thing. Nope. They're just beliefs. And again, the faster that we can release those and really work on the things that are lighting us up, the more it's actually helping other people because you're setting the example. So thank you, love. I definitely want to connect with you after the call. So make sure you message me on Instagram. I wanted to bring on Katz. She unmuted herself. Right, Katz, you had something to say. I know you did. Hold on.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep. You're in the UK too. Okay, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say. I'm just, but because I was on your, I don't know what it was called, but it was like Monday to Wednesday last week. And you were and on day 3, you spoke about
Oh, I can kind of hear a little bit. It's a little bit muffled.
I'm putting on my headphones.
I love the profile picture, by the way. Yes, I remember our call from day 3 too.
Okay, can you hear me better?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I do have a question. So I was on your Monday to Wednesday program last week, and on day 3 you spoke about like having a millionaire idea and like an investment of I think there was like 5 off, and it was speaking about like having a business idea and all that. So it really spoke about 31 days of abundance and it being 111 payments. Is that something different to the 555?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm like trying. It's like a little. It keeps going in and out a little bit, but I think what your question is what's the difference between the 2 programs and the payment plans?
Yeah, not so much the payment plans, but the program itself.
Yeah, great question. So the mastermind is a program that's a 7-week program. So pretty much every single Monday you'll get new material. And again, this one's specifically for people who have businesses right now. So every single Monday, the first week, you get super clear on your mindset, your goals. Why are you even starting the business? Like, for example, I'm going to use Kiara as the example with the Reiki. So Monday, we get super clear why are you even starting the business? Like, what's this money going to do for you? The next week, we get super clear on the money mindset, how to properly set the money goals. Again, where are these limiting beliefs coming from? Third week is all about just the basics of the business, getting everything set up, kind of what Rosie was talking about is really just embodying this CEO version of yourself. Again, setting up the business as if it's going to blow up overnight. The fourth week is to get super clear on affiliate marketing and actually allowing money to flow through you, not just through your business. So one of the exercises that I do in that fourth week is have everybody set up a 3-day course. So you guys know that I just hosted this free 3-day program. This is something that I've been able to put on my TikTok and make something that's passive. So one that people can work with me without me physically being there. I'm giving value, and it's also creating passive income for myself. So when I'm not physically working, that is providing for the business. So fifth week is all about booking and scheduling. If you guys have ever booked a call with me, you guys know that I use Calendly, just stuff so that you're more organized, investing your time and energy with your business and automating everything, makeup artists, making sure that people can, again, go book you if you're not physically having that communication back and forth. And then last few weeks are about all things marketing, just getting super clear, niching down. And really, it's just more about finding the path of least resistance for everybody. So the biggest thing why we call it a mastermind is because you're connecting with other people, right? If I'm a mindset coach, she's a Reiki, this person does marketing, right? How can we all connect and collaborate with each other so that we can really rise up to the next level? Because you're not supposed to be an expert in everything. And the sooner that we could realize that and really leverage each other's value, the better. So same thing about that. So that's the mastermind. That one's the 5K program. And again, guys, we have third-party funding available. So that third-party funding available, again, you wouldn't need to make a payment until the next month. So again, right now it's October. So not November, but December is when that first payment would be. That's exactly what Rosie did when she made that shift. I think that is only available for in the US right now. But I just want to mention how that's an option. And then the 31 days of abundance, it comes with the mastermind. It's just like a bonus that we throw in there. So people are, again, still doing the work. And then, but the 31 days of abundance by itself, $333. That is the one. There's a call that's available at the end. But again, it's mostly just you guys hopping on, pushing the audio every single morning, homework every single day, assignment every single day. You're just doing the work on a consistent basis. So what questions do you have about what I just said?
Okay, no, that's fine. I just needed clarity, so that's fine.
Yay. Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for showing up, love. I really mean it when I say that, guys. I get so excited when you guys show up on these calls. And we have 30 people on. This is so good. Okay, one person I feel called to pull up. And I know that so there's someone said on the link on the 31 days of abundance, the payment plan isn't working. So let me work on that. But I wanted to bring someone up who I've just been seeing head nod the whole time. Is it Alicia or Alyssa? Drawn? Oh, hold on. Denise is on. Hold on. Alicia, you're on deck. I see that you're unmuted, but I just can't hear it. Might be a mic. Darn, it's still not working. Maybe if you have headphones, it might work. Unless it's me.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so one of the limiting beliefs, there's a couple of things that are happening in my life that I told Anita that the first one that we're talking about our families is that now I'm working on the words that I say. That's something I always believe, that the words that I told myself or somebody else tells me are gonna have an effect on me. Because there was this time in my life that my mom told me, you want God to change your life like in less than 24 hours. And my life changed, but for the worse. So now every time she says something to me, I tell her, don't ever say that to me, because remember that time and that changed for me. So there was this time that I went outside to a volcano with my friends, and she made this joke like, the young girls are going to have fun, but the old poor lady is going to stay at home. And the time that was like really funny, it was like a joke, but then she started telling it more and telling it more, and I was like, no, please stop doing it, and please stop saying it, because it's not funny anymore. It's going to get you a lot of troubles. And then, like, she had a car accident that it was not like a horrible car accident, but it got her in a lot of like problems. And I thought maybe this is because she's calling herself the poor old lady. And I was like, please, mom, I need you to stop telling yourself that. And then another like limiting belief that I've been working on is starting receiving, because I'm listening a lot to the podcast and to the TikToks of Anita. So the ones that I've been opening my heart to is receiving from other people, not just the money that I can make. Because I was telling Anita that I've been dreaming since 2019 to go to Europe to an exhibition. And just like the last Sunday, the man of my dreams told me, so you want to go? I can pay everything for you. So I'm going to Europe for 15 days with the love of my life. Like all pay, he just said like, bring money to buy food. And I was like, okay. And like he kept like emailed me, like, we're going to say here's your flight to Panama to Madrid, and then we're going to Italy. And he said like, do you want to go to another country? And I was like, yeah, probably. So everything was coming to me. Now, the first time that I met him, he was like telling me, do you want me, can I buy you food? And I was like, no, don't worry. And then like it changed like my perspective, like maybe I should receive this because he is offering it to me. And I was like, okay, you can buy it, like buy me food. And then, can I buy you a shirt? I was like, no, don't do it. And then like, I was like, maybe I should accept that. And I was like, okay, don't offer me things because I don't want those. I want food. Because we were going to a lot of restaurants. So I was like, if you are going to buy me something, I want this. And then he was like, okay, but I'm going to buy you everything for Europe. So I was like, what? And then I've been like seeing discounts and every part that I go. So I'm opening my heart to receiving this, and by just changing my perspective in life.
Oh, it's so good. Yes, I remember you saying this in my DMs now. This is so funny because one, she manifested her man's and the money too. Because
Yes.
I can teach people to manifest money all day, but I need someone in my energy to teach manifesting love too. So good. Thank you for sharing, love. I couldn't remember. Are you in the 31 days of abundance? Or is that or that was even from before you even did the 3 days?
Yes, it was before.
See, this is what I wanted to point out, because yeah, I remember you telling me all this stuff. And guys, this is just from her being in the energy, from her actually applying the things. And one of the things that I tell people all the time, and I was like, yes, the program and everything is amazing and all this different stuff. But like, again, like I go by a 90-10 rule, and most coaches and mentors do, where they teach 90% of whatever it is that's in their program. And they just allow the last percentage to be in the program, because really the shift happens when you guys do the work and you do it on a consistent basis. And again, it's an energy exchange. But like, that's the example, guys. This is literally from her just applying and using the knowledge. And I'm just so happy and grateful that you're able to hop on the call today.
Yes, thank you so much. And then I was like, okay, because I've been like struggling with money. I couldn't afford like a 15-day vacation to Europe. And I was like, I need money. And then I received a phone call, because of your credit score, we're going to give you a new credit card. And I was like, that's money. I'm going to accept it. And I accepted it. And then I'm a designer and I got a freelance, like, hey, can you do this $500 freelance for me? And it was like, of course I want to do. And that's like half of the money that I want to like get before the trip that is like in 3 weeks. And I'm happy. I'm excited that I'm going to Europe.
Woo! So good. Yes. Thank you for sharing, love. You are so worthy. If you guys don't know what she's talking about with the worthy of receiving, I have the whole podcast episode that dropped a couple of weeks ago. And it just talks about when you say no, if someone's like, oh, let me pay for you. Oh, let me do this for you. And you're just like, no, it's not a big deal. It's a big deal. Say yes, guys. Like means you're not, makes you more open and receptive. Thank you for sharing. Update on the page, guys. I literally just updated it so that you guys can do the checkout on there. So for those of you who are asking, it should be available now, but let me know. Again, I wanted to bring, is it Alicia or is it Alyssa? I feel like I've asked you this before.
It's Alyssa.
Alyssa, okay. Darn, my twin sister, her name is Alicia, so that's why I always go to that. But okay, I know you've been head bobbing, so let me know what's on your mind. I want to talk about it.
I mean, so many different things. I was actually just messaging Laura talking about the difference between the academy versus the mastermind, and talking about like which one I'm more drawn to, and I don't know. But really just like seeking more community, because I'm moving. My partner just got a job and we'll be moving in a couple of months, but he's going to live apart from me. And I was like, ooh, this is a great time to lean in more to meditation and connecting with community and like doing all these different things, that he's not quite in that same world. And so I'm like really thinking that this is the right time because I'm going to have like those 5 days in the week to really just like lean in. And there's going to be no other influences of like what he believes or what's going on for him, and a lot of those emotions. So I guess one question I have for you is, what's the difference between the mastermind and the academy from that perspective of like community and connecting with other people and utilizing it in this time?
Ooh, yes, such a good question. I just want to recap on what you said, because the reason why I pulled her up, guys, is because I just seen her. One, I always encourage you guys to have your cameras on because it just helps us get an energy. And I just cannot wait until everything is live. Like I was just manifesting that this morning. But yeah, the community, like I was talking about this on day one. I was like, guys, like, yes, it's like the information, it's the course. And like, you can say it out as many times, but it's not until people make the shift that you really understand it. But it's really about the vibration that we're in right now. We're vibing, we're getting all this stuff. And so the community is the biggest thing. And I really, really wanted to have these calls and everything so that people can connect. Because when I was going on this road, I was so lonely. I was so scared. I felt like such a failure. And I remember the first time I invested into a mastermind, I grabbed the microphone and I'm just very emotional. So I'm like, I'm just so happy. I'm like literally crying. And I think the most overwhelming thing was that I was like, holy crap, I'm not alone. And, when I made that leap and the first time I invested into this mastermind, again, that was the first time I quantum leap, I almost threw up. I had every single sign. I felt like I was going to throw up and I was like, nah, I don't want to do this, but I know I need this the next step. But when I got there, I borrowed money from a family member and I got a loan from like the other part. And I just had these subconscious beliefs, like I didn't deserve to be there. I didn't deserve to be there. And I got there and there's the part where you get up there and you grab the microphone and you say why you're here, who you are. And then when we were done with that part, I realized that every single person was just as scared as I was. Every single person was like, oh, I wish I didn't say that. Oh, no. And these are people who were making exponential growth. Like they were making 20, 30, 40K months. And I was a makeup artist at the time, making like $400 a week. And so the thing is that it was like, I was able to really see that people were asking me about money mindset. So I wouldn't have became a money mindset if it wasn't for that situation happening. So again, to go back to your question, what you're just saying about, so the Millionaire Academy, do you know who Kathleen is? Okay, so Kathleen Cameron, guys, she is my coach and my mentor. She's actually the one that helped me go through my last quantum leap. But or if you guys know who Kathleen Cameron is, go ahead and put it in the comments because I want to see how many people are conscious of this. So Kathleen, again, she has a program that she just launched, and I am actually a coach under her. I became certified, and the Millionaire Academy is a program that she created so that people could just go by the step-by-step process of what she did, the material that she learned, the material that she created when she went through that shift of going from $3,000 a month as a nurse to over $300,000 in sales as a manifestation coach. So the Millionaire Academy, you would get her program. So every single, again, Monday is kind of like the flow that we go through. You know, watch the modules, you do her workbooks, and then when you get on the calls, you're working with us. You also get a hypnosis session, which is what Joanna was talking about, or have somebody take you back to those times of where those beliefs started. Again, but the only difference with that one is that it's her material. So if you have been in Kathleen's energy, and the only reason why I didn't bring it up this time around, again, it's forever available. But the reason why I didn't bring it up is because not everybody was conscious of who Kathleen was, and they're like, wait, what's going on? So the fact that you know who she is, you've been in the energy, is coming up for a reason. I'll actually want to bring on Jasmine if you have time after this, so you can kind of explain the shift too. And then the mastermind was a download that I had. So this is, again, the program that I had been launching before I joined with Kathleen, and I was specifically only doing it for makeup artists. And so the 7-week program, it is, again, everything that I went over. But when you join the Millionaire Academy, let's say you want Kathleen's energy, you want X, Y, and Z, you'll get both of the materials. So you would get both the mastermind of the one that I created and the one that Kathleen has. So that way you're getting both of the energy. And then we just have we have weekly calls for everybody. So that helps. What questions do you have about that?
No, that was good. It was just trying to understand like what's the difference and what's so that you cleared that up. So thank you.
I love your background, by the way, too.
Thank you. It's my art.
Oh, wow. See? Oh, good.
Yeah. So it's better understanding like where the community would be playing a part in versus like how to release a lot of the limiting beliefs, because I've been doing this business for almost 5 years now. And I have like that roller coaster of great months where I'll be like 10, 20,000. And then other months where it's like nothing. And so you're like, I would like somehow to just like more trust that. So it's almost not like, as people were talking, it's not necessarily limiting beliefs. Yes, there's probably those subconsciously from my family as we're talking about it, but it's really like from myself, because of that fluctuation of months being like super great and high. And it's like, yes, of course I can keep that vibration going, but it's when those times it's not making a ton of money because it's a lull in the season, or I'm working behind the scenes and not launching, how to keep that faith and that trust and release the limiting beliefs that like it can only happen. Because like as we were talking, or as I don't remember who it was talking specifically, something popped up for me was, am I limiting the park purchase orders because I think it's supposed to happen in a certain time of year? And really like kind of breaking that down for myself, the limiting beliefs that I've kind of set on my own business based on how it's happened and worked in the past versus how it could be, in the future. And so trying to figure out which course or mastermind like would be better for connecting with more people to keep that high vibe in that community, but also like working through those own limiting beliefs that I've put on myself and my own business just from doing this. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, it's so good. I got full body chills when you said that. So like one, I just want to say Kathleen is coming up for you for a reason. And I'm going to bring again, Jasmine, if you're okay, to bring you on next. So she can kind of give you some perspective on this too. So the biggest thing that I want to say is that a lot of times when we like that, you're always going to be like this. You're always going to be, and I think the sooner that we realize that, the sooner that you realize that like, oh, this is normal for everybody else, even the people that we're looking up to, right? The better it is. And again, it just goes back to the cycle of that. It has nothing to do with the business. It's not because of the slow season. It has every single thing to do with, okay, a lot of times when we're getting to this part where nothing's flowing, it's because we're getting stagnant in our energy. Maybe we're not dreaming big enough again, and that is why every single time that people go through these cycles, they go through like specifically with these calls. And that's why I get excited with like Laura and Joanna and everybody who's like in the programs already, because they understand like once we go through the shift, like it's pretty much like this huge wave of like, okay, and then we go through over and over. So again, it's like the flow that you're going to be in with the people who are operating up here, opposed to, down here in like, okay, this month isn't going to be good, so maybe I should plan my vacation next week. Nope. That's where you're getting tested. And it's when you make those like, you don't look at the practical things that are happening, and you look at like, oh, okay, this is the test, and there's a lesson or something that I need to learn in order to really break through. And Kathleen specifically is all about self-image. And again, it has everything to do with that opposed to the business. So I would like to bring on Jasmine again. Alicia, you can message me after this on Instagram. Again, it's the best way I think that we've been messaging so far. And I would like to bring on Jasmine. How are you, love?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. Okay, I just want to know, just give people a rundown, the shift that you've been going through right now, and what has happened since you joined Kathleen's program.
So I met Kathleen through Anita, and starting with Anita's 3-day manifestation thing, I was able to start seeing shifts in my life. Like I went on vacation for my birthday and I came back and I was like, what? I got an envelope with all the money I spent on my birthday. So pretty much I had a free birthday. And that was amazing. So then right after that, Kathleen launched out her Millionaire Academy. And I was like, okay. And then Anita was like, you got to get in this. You got to see what it's all about. I was like, okay, so if she did it, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to follow the steps that she has done to pretty much also get there. Cause I was running on a part-time job after the pandemic hit. I just went into a part-time job at a grocery store, and I know I wasn't meant to be there, and I know it was just going to be temporary, but it started to feel more permanent and I wanted to get out. So when I went onto Kathleen's call, I joined her mastermind, and oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it. I was just like, this is where I want to go. Here's my card, take it. And ever since then, it was just like, okay, yes, she does do a lot of like self-image and like believing, and really just like, I no longer drink out of paper cups either. So I like, it's about luxury and not like luxury and like feeling that you are worth it, that you are worthy, that you are enough, and not so much on like the material, not so much on like, oh, I have to have the fancy Ferrari to be luxurious and stuff like that. So it was like, it was a big eye opener for me. Especially because I just had my spiritual awakening the other day, and I shared it with her where I was walking out of, sorry, I'm gonna get emotional. I was walking out of a place and I saw a bird fall dead right in front of me. And I was like, okay. And I went and recorded. I'm like, I didn't think anything about it until later. I was like, let me see if this means anything. So I looked it up, and it was the rebirth or the renewal of something. And during that time, I started writing down my old beliefs about money. And right under that, I would write my new beliefs on money. And that was that week. So when it came down, I was feeling insecure during those days and stuff. And look at that, I was coming out of insurance place. So like for me, the connection was like, I am shifting from feeling insecure and knowing that knowing that I'm having new beliefs, right? Repeating them every day and going through the material that Kathleen offers, and feeling the insecurity. How do I say this? Coming out of an insurance place. So like for me, that was an insurance that like, I'm going down the right path. I am going down the right path. So I don't know, it's just been amazing. And I've been embracing every part of it.
So good. You just make me so excited because same for Jasmine, guys. She has been, I remember that when the first time I did the 3-day, she was messaging me and she sent me this video and I was just like, I'll cry. It was just so beautiful because one, I get super excited because it's like release. I talk about this in day 2. I was like, we don't have to jump up and down. We just got to let go, whatever it is that's telling us you can't have that. You can't do this. You're not worthy of this. And so when I seen that video of how that manifested for you, right? Again, the money is one thing, guys, but it's just the belief. You're like, holy crap, I am so powerful and I can't even believe of like all this. Like when I seen that video, that's what I felt from you. And again, Jasmine, I just have like a huge download to tell you right now, whatever it is that you're worrying about right now, or that you have been worrying about this past week, you don't have to worry about it anymore. I don't know what it is, but it's like this huge, like, you don't have to worry about it anymore. So look at her over here. But yeah, and that's the thing, guys, whatever it is that comes, like, and notice how when you get on these calls, like everybody's like, oh, that made me think of this and that made me think of that. No. That's not you guys doing that. That is source. That is like all these different things that are coming. And that's why those ideas flow more when you're on the calls. That's why when you are, outside walking, you feel more connected. When you're exercising, you feel more connected. And again, like, yes, now's the time to take action, but it's more of the action of what would you be doing if you already had the money? What would you be doing? Would you be worrying less? And I remember I got a massage a couple weeks ago and I was like so mad at myself because I was like, I'm getting a massage. And I could not stop thinking about everything. And I was so mad at myself for not really just enjoying the moment. And so again, that's just kind of like the cycle that we're in right now. Like, really, guys, it's all about the journey. It's about the little things that are happening. The proof of like the signs that are happening is what we're supposed to get excited about, because, and you'll notice this too, when everything happens, material things happen, the house manifests, the money manifests, the video goes viral, you feel numb.
222.
Yeah, 12:22 my time, which is also my
222.
Okay, thank you, Jasmine, for sharing that. So beautiful. I get so excited. I've been really,
I just wanted to say thank you to her for sharing that, truly, because I've been struggling with quitting my job heavily. So it's very inspirational to like see people doing that and being courageous like that. So thank you.
Yeah, Bree, let's talk about it. What's the number one fear that comes up when you think about quitting this job?
I come from a family of very like driven corporate women, right? And I didn't go to college, but I still obtained this corporate position I have now at a Fortune 500 company, and it's a great thing. Like, everybody was so proud of me, and I'm a single mom. I have a son, and it was great. And I literally I manifested the shit out of this job. I did a money ritual, and I literally had my friend call me and tell me I got this job offered to me like the next day because she works in marketing. And I was like, okay, well, this is where I'm supposed to go because I manifested it, but it wasn't. I just pushed my energy that way and manifested the wrong thing. So then I'm sitting here and I read tarot. I'm a spiritual person. I like helping people. I don't like doing what I'm doing now. I'm analyzing appliances. So it's not something that serves me, but I feel like I've been told over and over again that it's security, and gotten to this point, and how could you let it go? You have Jalen to take care of, and this and this and that. But I just got started on TikTok, and within a week got like 1,500 followers, and was feeling so excited and like happy and stuff like that. And I'm ready to quit like today. Like I have a quarterly review tomorrow. I don't even want to present it. I don't want to do anything. Like I just want to like walk away so bad, but my fear keeps me from doing that sometimes.
So good. This is so good.
Yeah.
It's so funny because most people would be like, why is she so excited about this? But I'm like,
No, I love it.
So let's say just putting this out there. Let's say you didn't quit. Let's say they fired you today. Right now, they just texted you, don't come back. One time I got fired, and this guy that I worked for said, don't come back, okay? So let's pretend that happened right now. They just texted you. Now what's the fear? Like what's coming up for you? Like what's not going to get paid? Like
I think it's me making the choice to do it, and it's my ego getting in the way of the fact that if I were to fail, it would be like devastating. But at the same time, in a weird way, if they were to fire me tomorrow, I'd be like, bet I'm gonna go get it. Like you just gave me an excuse. So it's like the doing it myself and like letting go of that idea of like me in corporate America and doing this shit that I don't want to do. It's like I just have to let go of that. But that's a good point.
Yeah, like what like money wise, obviously, right? Because these are subconscious.
Yeah.
What bills, like, oh my gosh, if I quit, I'm not gonna be able to pay X, Y, and Z.
It would be, rent, daycare for my son would be the biggest thing because daycare is so expensive. But it's just like daycare for my son, making sure he has everything he needs, and then rent, a roof over our head. Those are the main things I would be most concerned about.
And number wise, how much would that be?
That would probably be around like 25 to 3 a month. 2,500 to 3,000 a month.
See, this is where I get so excited because it's like now your mind is like, okay, all I need is X, Y, and Z. It's I can sit here all day long and say, oh, you'll be fine, don't worry about the money flowing. But it's like your mind needs help figuring it out, right? So when you start to really shift your focus, like even again, looking at this analogy, like back against the wall, holy shiz, like just to let you guys know, is that I didn't make $10,000 a month until I really had to. I had absolutely no choice, but it's the same thing, like, right, when you need the money, you'll find it, and it doesn't matter how it manifests, right? And maybe like now's the time to buy time so that you can really focus on what it is. So what I would encourage you to do today, Bree, is just write the date. Like if maybe not today, right? I mean, if you do, I'll be right here rooting you on. Hello. But what I'm saying is that I want you right now to just grab a pen and paper, and I want you to write what day comes up for you, like the physical day, whatever comes
Actually,
up.
I already wrote it down a while. It was I said by January 1st, 2022, I want to quit. Like I'm quitting. I don't want to do this anymore. It doesn't serve me. I want to go towards what I want to go towards. So I wrote that down, and I've just been trying to keep my vibration high. And because I've never made a move that big, like I've had experience with manifesting. I can manifest small things because I keep myself small, but it's like scared me to manifest like a whole new life because I've thought for so long that what I'm doing is the only way. So it's just doing that and trying to dream bigger, like you said.
Yes. See, this is so beautiful. Okay. One, I just again download, and you're gonna love and hate me for this, but it's gonna happen sooner, and you're not gonna be ready, but you'll be ready. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna be ready, but you'll be ready. And so another download that I had for you is like to stop looking at the little, like, yes, the little things are gonna help right now, but what you want to look at right now, especially with like what you're doing, like serving, maybe Reiki wise, is that what you're working on?
Tarot. And then I was actually going to look into, I just did a QHHT hypnosis on past life regression session. And she actually, my therapist was like, I really think you should like be doing this. And she holds classes and stuff and invited me to start doing it. So it's something I've thought about starting today.
Were you messaging me about this?
Yes. Mhm.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this all makes so much sense now. Okay,
Mhm.
you and me have to message after this because I
Yeah.
have a huge but oh my gosh. So what the
Mhm.
download was is that for you to do $1,000 package, whatever it is that you're working on right now, it needs to be a minimum of $1,000. And this
Okay.
is kind of like, guys, what I was talking about earlier of like, you know, universe, God, source is asking you to like set structure up, like,
Mhm.
that's what I mean. So like set up, make it believable. You know, it seems impossible if you say like, oh, if I do 20 tarot card readings for $100, but like if you say, okay, all I need is 3 $1,000 things, just helps. So that was the
Yeah.
download, girl. Okay,
That's
reach
what's
out to
up.
me after this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so good. All right, guys, we got maybe about just 5 more minutes left. If anybody else wants to come on, ask anything, say anything. There's someone who I had my eye on, but if nobody reaches out, I'll leave it to the end.
Me.
Tiffany, hi, love.
Hi.
Okay.
So honestly, I won't lie. I've been kind of like in and out because I'm picking something up.
I wish I could see your face though.
I just want to really just kind of, like I was talking to you about, I'm so sorry. Let me turn her on. Hi y'all, this is
okay.
Really serious about what I'm doing, like with my business. Because right now I'm just kind of really, I was telling you I was reaching my goal and things like kind of went the wrong way. So I feel like it's because I'm not believing in myself more. And like I told you, I want to kind of do my move and things like that. So I'm just trying to get more like, I don't know how to really say it, but I just want to have the right mindset before I do anything big. So
Ooh. I'm so excited you're coming on here because again, I've had like this huge download. I mean, I talked to you through the voice memo about it. But what source really wants you to know right now is that money's not flowing through that way is because it's not supposed to.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how we were talking about the other thing that was coming up for you?
Yeah.
That's where you're focusing.
And that's where I've been trying to really start focusing more on. So that's really funny that you do say that because that's where like I have a feeling I know that's where it's coming from.
Ooh, and well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, love, is that is that when you follow the path of least resistance, again, the thing that's coming up for you over and over and over again, yes, the money may flow through this new revenue, may throw, like, for example, can I tell them what it is? Is that okay? Like a lash business, right? Like physically doing lashes. Girl, first of all, okay, who here has got like lashes done? Like that is the business, and it's like, yeah, right? Like people in one, like, okay, first of all, practical wise, that business is already booming and it's never oversaturated no matter where you're at. But the second thing is that when you start to work on that path of least resistance, that big idea, whatever it is that's coming up for you, that is when those unexpected sales from the other business come through. That's when someone pays you back. That's when unexpected checks and everything come. So what I would highly encourage you to do, just even for the rest of the day, just like try this out for size. Again, just build the belief and see what happens. And you've already been doing an amazing job because we were talking about this in our voice memos the other day, guys, is that she was like, I'm going to take a day off and I'm going to go to lunch, right? Was that you, right? Okay. I have so many different conversations that I'm like trying to remember who's all doing what. But that's her, right? Like when she went to go, someone asked her, hey, let's work on the business, whatever. And she's like, I'm actually gonna go lunch with my dad. And that's when the money showed up. And I tell my clients, pay attention when the money shows up again, because whatever it is that you're doing when the money flows is what you want to keep doing more of, right? So yeah, that's what source wants you to know for the rest of the day. Don't even think about the other business. Just truly today, all I want you to think about is what would it look like? What would it feel like? What would the everyday be like? Like how much money would you be making? Like what would this money allow you to do? And just give it your energy for the rest of the day and watch what happens.
Thank you.
Yeah, so good. Okay. Jason's still on here. I'm just picking on everybody today. I've been on here for like 2 hours, like picking on whatever. Jason, I want to pick on you though, if you're still here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, oh my gosh.
Hey.
You have no idea how excited I am about you because I'm like, I need more people to set the example. So how are you? What's going on?
What's the example?
That this isn't just the feminine, like, a lot of people have a lot of subconscious beliefs that like one manifestation is like super spiritual, which I am spiritual, but guys, I'm telling you guys, like whether you believe in it or not, our thoughts are creating our reality. We were messaging back and forth, right? On Instagram?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well,
I signed up for the 3-day last week though, and I
Okay.
did it, and then this one came up. So I've been doing it for a little while.
and what was the 3-day like? Tell me a little bit more.
It's been such a crazy week. Let me remember. I always seem to get stuck somewhere. I always seem to get close to something that I'm manifesting, and then just like I lose it or I can't get it. And like something happens in my life and I just kind of go downward. I have a 2-year-old right now, and she's very demanding. And I think sometimes, like, I love her so much, but sometimes she just like really brings me down because she's so demanding. And I feel like that hurts my manifestation, because the chart, I think it was the first day you posted that chart of like, where we have to be to manifest. And I love that chart. That's so helpful. I just feel like I'm never high enough to get what I'm trying to get.
Oh, I'm so excited you're talking about this, because this makes me like gives me chills. Again, a lot. I'm happy you referred back to the chart too, because it really helps like set the example. And I'm not going to say that I can speak from where you're coming from, because I don't have children. I mean, I have a little baby puppy, but she's puppy. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people get in the cycle of like, if I'm not, giving them my full attention, then I feel guilty, or I feel shame, or I feel this, like, again, this low frequency. And so I think the biggest download that I'm getting to tell you right now is more of of how you can set the example, right? And maybe do you have somebody who watches her?
No, it's just, my wife's here. She works like all day. So occasionally she has a little time, but she works usually till like 6. So it's just me. My parents have been helping out. So we have people here and there. So we just moved back in April. So we have a good support system going on now. But we used to live in Brooklyn, New York, and we had nothing. So.
Oh my gosh, New York keeps coming up for me too. So okay, well, I think that, because what's one thing that you've been working on, or that you've been wanting to invest more time and energy into, but you just haven't, because you've been maybe attending to her?
I'm trying to manifest some income or some money. I think I was listening to one of your podcasts, and you said like any money that comes in, even if it's like someone paying for you. And I was trying to manifest, I think $1,000. And like I met up with my parents. We went to a show and they paid for me, and they paid for dinner. And then like my wife paid for dinner because I don't have any current income. So like everyone pays for me. And I think I didn't really add it up, but I think I came close to the 1,000. And I realized like, okay, that kind of counts, but I'm not good at manifesting like my own money. Does that make sense?
Yes, so much sense. Chills, that makes me so excited. But yes, that's the thing. And I talk about this, I think, in the maybe day 2 of the 3-day workshop. I need to go back and look at everything. But the reason why it's so important to make sure that you're saying, yes, this counts. Oh my gosh, I just manifested. Is because, again, it's all about building the belief. And one, there's no guarantee that any of those things are going to happen. And again, every single thing is manifested. And so I think the biggest thing right now, right, all you have to do is shift the belief that money can come to you with like through your source opposed to a different way. And so one, it's already being brought to the surface right now. And that's what makes me excited, because now you're conscious of the story that you're telling yourself,
Yeah.
So not thinking about money at all. What's one thing that you can do or talk about all day long without it like feeling like work?
Like any topic?
Any topic, whatever comes up for you.
Movies.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
I'm a writer, so I'm a screenwriter, but I love movies, so.
Full body chills, Jason. That's it. Okay, that's why the money's not flowing, right? Because have you been investing a lot of time into that, or?
Yes, for a long time.
Oh, see. Okay, so that is so cool that you're so are you a producer? Tell me a little bit more.
I mean, currently I'm just really focused on writing, but I also direct, done some short films, everything, and I've been pitching the last few years to execs and managers and trying to get representation and like some stuff sold and things like that. So.
Ooh, start a movie review TikTok. Oh yeah, honestly, are you on TikTok? Is that how you found us?
No.
Okay. But I go crazy for stuff like that. I'm a huge movie person too. That's like one of my things that I do when I'm like relaxing. It's movies.
Me too. Yeah, that's so great. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a really huge thing, what they just said. But I guess the biggest thing that like Source is telling me for you right now is that you're thinking too small. I think when you said you're pitching to other people, right?
Yeah.
So I guess if you're imagining this, like as if you were that big person, you were that person where people are coming to you and pitching whatever is what they want you to focus more on right now, because a lot of times, again, when the external things don't happen and you're pitching and you're doing this thing, I don't know why it's not working. I don't know why it's not working. It's again, because it's not supposed to, so that you can now get connected to this new path. So take that if it resonates. But again, just really just continue to build this belief in what things that are shifting right now. And I truly believe that Joanna can kind of attest to this too, but she hired somebody to just watch her kids for like a few, I think maybe hours, maybe it was a couple hours. I think even just 1 hour would be one thing, but one, you're that manifestation for somebody else, things are flowing. And then two, you're really giving it like the time and energy that it deserves.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, I was thinking about doing the 31 days of abundance, but because I didn't really manifest what I wanted to with the 3-day, is it still okay to jump to that, or should I go back and do the 3-day again and make sure I can manifest what I need before I jump to 31 days?
Such a good question. Okay, you guys listening to this right now, like put in the comments what you think the answer is. Put in the comments what you guys think the answer is, and then I'll answer it. So Kiara said yes. Laura said 31 days of abundance. Yes, do it. 31 days. Okay. Again, I just wanted to do that because I want, like, you can it's one thing when I say it, you know, but I think one, it's so easy for other people to see it, and when you're looking at it from the outside in, but you are manifesting right now, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you already are attracting whatever it is that you're like position that you're at right now. So a lot of times it's kind of going back to what I just said, is like instead of using the reason why you don't do it, use it as a reason why you are doing it. Like, oh, well, the money hasn't manifested, which means that there's just still a lot more work to be done. There's still a lot of subconscious beliefs that this isn't possible. Maybe it's easier for somebody else. And so, yes, 1000%, I truly believe it'll help you. And any questions that you have, you can reach out to me. Do you have Instagram, or where did you find us?
Instagram, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, reach out to me anytime. I truly believe it's going to help you and help build that belief. So I'm excited. And I also want some scary movie recommendations. So post it on Instagram and tag me today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So good. Okay, guys, I've been on here all day. I honestly could keep going, and it's so funny because we've been on here for 2 hours and I never stay this long. But there is going to be a replay for everybody. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to us on Instagram. We have the Facebook group. Joanna's more active in the Facebook group, so if you guys have questions, you can always message her. You guys can message other people that are in this group. I highly recommend that you connect with somebody who's maybe in your same location, maybe they're your same niche, whatever it is. Just keep this vibration going. And I wanted to keep this all the way to the end for the people who are actually still on here, but an exercise that I am challenging you all to do today is give money away. And I want you to tag me on Instagram. And it doesn't have to be physical money. I'm posting a video today, it's just so you guys know. I went into the donut shop the other day. I bought these donuts. I bought like 10 donuts and then they threw in more donuts, which was money manifested too. And I just went out in the street and I handed them out to people who wanted them. So that's the challenge that I'm passing down for you guys today. Please tag me on Instagram. Again, it's never about the money. It's about what would you be doing if you already had it. And that's when the money flows the most. So please reach out to me. I wish I could call on every single person. I see so many beautiful faces that I'm like, I just want to talk to everybody. But I got to go protect my energy. And I will talk to you guys in the chats or on Facebook. So if you guys need anything, let me know. And thank you again for investing the time and energy. Bye, loves.